Welcome back, my friends. And this is going to be my last part of my Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix blog. The last blog is going to consist of the side game, which focuses on a boy who's connected to Sora. In that game, which was released on September 29th, 2009, which was my sister's 14th birthday, the game is Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Okay, I'm not going to be hooded throughout the whole blog. So, my thoughts on this game. Well, in a way, this game is a little bit better than Chain of Memories, but I'll start with its story. Alright, as we all know, the game covers the story of a boy named Roxas, who happens to be the nobody of Sora, the main hero of the franchise. I mean, it's more like, it's like a mid-quel, or like the story that takes place between Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like focuses on Roxas' life between them, and explores the time from Roxas' creation up until its confrontation with Riku that leads right into the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like Roxas has been hired into Organization 13 like a week after he was born, and he's been assigned to collect hearts using the Keyblade to make Kingdom Hearts for the organization, unaware that it would cause a great apocalypse for the universe and certain worlds that it might do sometime. And while he goes on these missions in certain Disney worlds, he has a great friendship with not just Axel of the organization, but also a certain special creation known as Xion, who happens to be the replica of Sora, which is actually the form from Sora's memories of Kairi. And I don't want to explain the full story, because I want you guys to play it for yourself. And also, if you want to, you can also watch the theater version on this game. So, like, how is it good to you, huh? Or, I mean, my thoughts on it, it's great. I mean, it doesn't have the same combat system as Kingdom Hearts or Chain of Memories, though. But it is good. I mean, you do get to visit worlds more often, even though there's a limit of 6 Disney worlds plus 2 worlds that you do visit sometimes, and also one that you don't visit according to gameplay. Let me explain about its gameplay, though. It's a little similar to its action RPG style of certain games. I mean, it takes place in the 3D environment, but there are also 3 status bars, which is actually... I mean, there were going to be HP, MP, and a new one, which is Limit. But, however, the familiar command bar from past installments of the games has returned. But instead of using MP for magic, you equip the spells that you want to use for each mission and not just magic, but also your weapons, your items, even some of your abilities using something called the panel system. It's like, I don't know what else it's featured in, but the panel system is a kind of their way of customizing how you move on, and not just your items, weapon, magic, or abilities, but also your stats, like your levels. And the camera controls are a little bit the same as well, like allows the player to touch the screen or use the L and R buttons to move around. Also, you can use the control panel face button, and face the buttons is also present as well. Certain Heartless have been changed, had their names changed, like Rabid Dogs have become Bad Dogs, and certain other things. Also, if you complete your missions 100%, you also get bonus gauges as well. And there's also a special move, which is called Limit Breaks, which only can be activated when your HP is kind of low. I mean, to be honest, that's actually pretty clever. I mean, it's not usually necessary, but I think it's kind of cool if you want to finish off your enemies and bosses pretty quickly. And also the multiplayer version is pretty fun too. I mean, if you want to play with friends, which I haven't got the chance to because no one I knew actually had 358 over 2 days, which had me, even though I wanted to play with someone. And I guess you're wondering about the Disney characters. I mean, since they're shown in some of these worlds, are they as important to the organization's story or Roxas's? No, they're not. I mean, the Disney characters have their own problems, but Roxas and along with his friends don't interact with them too often. I mean, sure, he does interact with Genie and Carpet because they think that Roxas looks like someone they knew. Even Tinkerbell does ask Roxas for help, even though Roxas kind of turns away at times. Even Phil mistakes Roxas for someone at the Olympus Coliseum. Even Lock, Shock, and Barrel tease Roxas in Halloween Town. Even Zero helps Roxas on certain missions. Plus, even Pete shows up, and also the Cheshire Cat and Wonderland also help out to give Roxas a hint. And also, Roxas does get cornered by the card soldiers or interact with the doorknob just once. He even does hardly interact with Hayner, Pence, and Olette in Twilight Town. Other than that, in the theater mode of this game, there's hardly any voice acting, and it is kind of a shame that this is Wayne Alwine's final performance, but in the theater mode of the PS3, Brett Ewan does a pretty good job with Mickey, even though he doesn't appear too often. The only time Mickey does appear in the game is in the woods of Twilight Town with Riku. Shame, though, since Mickey's my favorite Disney character of all time. And also, just to let you know that there are certain worlds that do appear in flashbacks, such as 100 Acre Wood. I mean, it's... what am I talking about? I mean, it does show Hollow Bastion and cutscenes in flashbacks, or Castle Oblivion, but it's the first game not to have 100 Acre Wood or Atlantica back. And also there were worlds that were originally going to be in the game, such as Prankster's Paradise, which is Pinocchio's world, which unfortunately Square had to save for later. And there were a few characters that were kind of scrapped from it too, like Meg and Hades were originally going to be in Olympus Coliseum, but I don't know why Square had to cut them out. And also Tinkerbell was going to have lines in it too, but I guess that idea was dropped as well. So, I guess to end this off, since what I'm focusing on is the theater mode of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, I mean, its PS3 release does have more cutscenes than on the DS. Now, let's see, let's start with our main character. Alright. Our main hero, Roxas, is played by singer-artist Jesse McCartney, who I've known as Terrence from the Tinkerbell films, even Theodore from the live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movies. I mean, his role as Roxas is not too bad. I mean, he starts off, unsure of what's going on, but he does mature as the story goes on. And also, just to let you know, I've seen Jesse McCartney once before when me and my sister were called on for a show on Nickelodeon Studios called Dance on Sunset. Plus, there are also other characters such as Axel, who I've already said is voiced by Quentin Flynn, and also the best character in the game, Shion, is voiced by Alison Stoner. And to be honest, her role as Shion is pretty cute, but in the theater mode of the PS3, I mean, she does have more lines, but I can hardly tell it's her, since she sounds kind of older, like Hayden Panettiere. Well, great character. The rest of the organization are as follows: Paul St. Peter as Xemnas, Kirk Thornton as Syx, Ryan O'Donoghue as Demix, Vincent Carrazza still Zexion in one scene, even David Dane Fisher as Zaldin, and James Patrick Stewart as Zigbar. Even Robin Downs as Luxord. It's hard to pronounce his name. Okay, did I get them all right? Yeah. I did. And I already mentioned Brett Ewan as Mickey Mouse, and David Gallagher still reprises his role as Riku, and Megan Martin still as Naminé. Unfortunately, even though Christopher Lee did do his role as Diz in the DS game, he doesn't reprise his role as Diz in the PS3. And like in Chain of Memories and Birth by Sleep, Diz is voiced by Corey Burton. I mean, he does a good job, but I still prefer Christopher Lee's voice as Diz. And also, just to let you know, the game does include Roxas' diary and secret reports in character databases after you watch all the cutscenes on the PS3, and it does have like a really tear-jerking moment nearing the end, which is undoubtedly the most. It does make me tear up seeing Shion die. I mean, it's the most tear-jerking thing I've seen in a video game, other than the ending of Final Fantasy X. As for the rating, I give this game a 90%. Its story is great, but however some missions do get real repetitive and difficult over the course. Like, there's even one boss that I still haven't gotten the chance to beating due to its toughness, which you already know which one it is. Dust Flyer, which you find in Mission 89. So, 90% of this game, and hope you enjoyed this vlog of Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix. I think I deserve a little break since in the next couple days, I want you guys to wish me well, since if you thought my oral surgery from a few weeks ago was bad enough, there's one other surgery that's going to happen to me on Thursday. They're going to operate on my left knee, which is going to give my mouth a run for its money. So, if you're asking, will I review Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse? Maybe. It depends if I'm feeling better. So, just to let you know, just be sure to join me for our next vlog once I'm feeling better. Mustang Power!